Ebony.
And I'm Shakora.
And this is the Unapologetically Us podcast, where we talk about life, mental health, fitness, finances, and everything in between. Thank you for joining us today. Welcome back to those of you who have been watching us all the little weeks we have started this thing. Thank you guys. And if you're new here, welcome. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, and share our podcast. And in the comments, let us know, how you're feeling about the thing. Give us a little feedback if necessary. But thank you guys for joining us today. So, child, listen. What's been up with you?
Well, I lately, I've kind of been reflecting on just goals and accomplishments, like just kind of thinking about where I am in life. And I know we recently did the time frame type of episode, but just kind of reflecting on everything that I wanted or that I'm working to, like I'm actually in, like it's in progress. Like, if you said to gain my license and my degree and to be married, to have a house, to have that car paid for.
Come on. Come on, somebody.
And just walking into that. Like I'm literally the things that I've prayed for, the light at the end of the tunnel, I'm there. And so, and I guess too, now I'm at a point where I have to start setting new things, but it's like, oh, I wanted this degree. I wanted this. I wanted that. Wanted the house and all of that. And I have it. And I thank God for that. But just kind of reflecting and being grateful in the things that I asked for that I received. So, child, listen, I'm grateful.
Come on.
I am grateful. Grateful.
It's flying from my heart. Come on.
Oh, yes, I am. I am. So that's good.
Time to set some new goals.
Yeah, time to add more things to the plate.
Hey, nothing wrong with that.
Nothing wrong with it. I'm, again, grateful.
All right, here for it.
Yes. So how about you? How you been?
Whoo, child. Listen, I had an okay week, all that good stuff. But I want to take my child, listen. And I want to shout out all of my fellow Black women. And this is no shade to nobody else. I feel like the majority of our audience is Black people anyway. Yeah. But our Black women who are struggling to maintain professionalism while dealing with all the other isms and stereotypical views of ourselves in the workplace. I hear you guys, I recognize, I empathize, because people don't realize that, everybody has a struggle, but I feel like in some areas of life for, Black people, Black women, the struggle is hard. Yeah. You have this stereotypical angry Black woman type of thing. You have this attitude, this whatever about that people think about you. Yeah. And it shapes how they view you. And then, there are times where you have to go and sit in the car and cry, take a walk, because you don't want to, because you know where you could take it. Yes. And if I take it there, I'm really going to go there. And by going there, I know my job going to be at stake. Right. Absolutely. Or whatever, because there are certain people that like to play on that type of thing with you. And no matter how much you brush stuff off, you can only brush it off for so long. And that you can push people to the point of, I don't care. If I take it there, I'm going to take it there, I'm going to get my write-up, or a pink slip, paper, email, however you're gonna do it, and I'm gonna be okay with it because at this point you got me messed up.
Yeah, absolutely.
So I empathize with you. You know, I'm y'all. We here. We are here. You know, you gotta go take a walk. You got to go cry. You got to go home and indulge in. Like there are a lot of silent things that we deal with in a professional headspace that people don't even realize because we have to keep that face on at all times.
Yeah.
But when you can't keep that face on no more, you know, and people talk about how people in our generation are leaving jobs left and right, and it's because, you know, my mama watch this, love you mama, but you know, my mom's approach with jobs and things is different than me. You know, or it seems like, I could be wrong, mama, you can come in and let me know. But I know that my mom has dealt with some of the same struggles that I deal with.
Right.
And she's like, you know, I just go in the car, I cry and I pray and I go back. Me, I'm my mother's child in a sense. I'll go in the car and I'll cry, I'll call her, cry and pray about it. But after a while, ain't no crying and praying gonna solve this. I got to go. Yeah. And so we are not dealing with it. Yeah. It's like, if this no longer suits me, I'm not gonna waste. I don't care about being at somebody's job for 20 years if I've been miserable for 18 of them.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So, because if you think about it, if you think about a week, you're giving this job 40, sometimes 40 plus hours a week. By the time you get home, you drain. Like, I think about the past couple of months for me, getting home and being drained. There are things that I want to do outside of my job that I don't have the mental capacity to do because it takes a lot to just muscle through a day. Yeah. With, you know, on top of the other stresses that work, you know, that your job may give, you know, with system shut down, emails not working, this, you know, whatever, those regular things. But when you're dealing with that stuff on top of trying to maintain a level of professionalism, when you really just want to, in the words of Ludacris, slap a nigga today. Like, you want to do it. You want to just bop real quick. Yeah. And you can't do it. There's assault charges. There's a lot of things that come along with it. Yeah. And so, man, like, shout out to us that are doing it. Yeah. And if you break, it's fine. Yeah, definitely. Because everybody got a breaking point. Yeah. You know, that is so important. And a lot of people don't realize how much the job or their place of employment take a toll on them, right? And so I can remember I'm always talking about what I can remember, but just feeling like I had to deal with stuff like that. Like, you had to. So like you just said, you know, a lot of people say now, y'all generations, y'all won't keep a job. Y'all feel like we will leave. Me personally, her for sure will leave quick. She won't even let it get to the breaking point. No, you got about 1, 2. Indeed, I will leave. Oh, don't give me a degree and a license now. I will, because you guys, for y'all out there, yes, some people we need. Don't let your bills get, your bills and stuff go in default and they come picking up your car and stuff. Do what you got to do. But we reach that breaking point, but we feel like we gotta stay. We feel like I have to be here. And the thing is, they know that. They know. These places of employment know that we need this position. And so I strive to say, I love it, I love this, but I don't need it because I can pull myself into another direction. I set myself up to be able to, I don't have to take it. I can go start a business. I can do, and that's mostly what our generation is doing. We have a lot of kudos to everybody who have businesses,
that we're starting our own business, and not just so we don't have to have someone to tell us what to do, but to gain financial stability, to get some independence, to be able to spend time with our families that these jobs don't allow us to do. You know, I got to a point where I was like, I gotta come out of somebody else's business when I have to feel guilty about taking my child to the doctor. I gotta actually request time off to take my child to the doctor, and I feel guilty about it because you mad. You mad because we need you here, but my child gotta go to the doctor. Why? No. So at that point, I gotta set myself up where I don't have to do all that to make my child or to take my child to the doctor. I can schedule my appointments around my child's doctor's appointment.
Sure can.
And employers need to understand that we have lives. We get it. But a lot of people will stay on their jobs if I don't have to get to my breaking point. If I can know that the person that I work for is going to understand that children get sick, is going to understand that Livingston Parish has no school fair days. You know what I'm saying? To work for a place or a employment, whatever, that understands those things. When you can go to a job and they can say, oh baby, I know your kid out of school. Go ahead, go home. We'll see you tomorrow. Or we'll see you Friday, or whatever the case may be. When you got that, then you got some. I don't have to get to a point of where I'm breaking, because they will. They will, baby. They'll use you up.
And it comes a time where we no longer hold loyalty to a job that doesn't hold loyalty to us. My mom, again, you know, shout out to mom, used to always tell me, don't you let them people stress you out.
Yeah.
Don't you let their job stress you out.
Yeah.
Because stress kills.
Yes.
And she said, you know, the same thing that's going on now, if you let that stress you and kill you, it'll still be going on while you 6 feet under.
Stressing the next person, killing them.
Yep. And then when I got in the job, or it may be easier.
Yeah.
That's a whole nother topic for a whole nother day. But and I got older and I realized, or I saw for myself, that like a job will replace you in a minute.
So quick.
You could die, and the most they may do is send your mama a card. If they do that. And then depending on who you are, you may not even get that. It may be a select group of people that may get together and send your mama a plan or a card.
Ain't that something?
So at some point you stop holding or giving loyalty to a job or company or whatever that will replace you in a day.
Oh my God, so quick.
You died on a Wednesday, your job is posted Thursday. So you know, shout out to y'all that are still, you know, that, you know, are, cause with entrepreneurship, everybody don't want to be entrepreneurs. They want the 9 to 5. They want to be able to shut it off. Cause if we being honest about entrepreneurship, hell, we're recording late on a Saturday.
Absolutely.
When as an entrepreneur, you can't. In some ways, you can. Yeah. But in some ways, you can't turn it off.
Oh yeah.
So some people like the idea of, when I'm done at 4, 5, 5:30, I'm done, and I don't have to pick nothing back up work related until Monday morning or the next work day. So shout out to y'all, man, because it ain't hard. It is not hard. Child, listen, it ain't hard. Take your vacations, take your breaks, take your mental health days. Use your sick time if you ain't feeling good. If you really not feeling good, don't bring your sick self to work. For one, you gonna get everybody else sick. That's one. For two, for what? Now you done passed out and you gotta be at home anyway. Don't do it.
Take your time.
Don't do it.
Absolutely.
But anyway,
child, listen. That was good. That's some good information. And a lot of people feel like they're stuck. A lot of people feel like they have to, and a lot of people do. But it's still important to make sure you're maintaining that self-care. Make sure that you're taking your breaks, taking the time that you need. You know, we're gonna move on, but we'll work through our lunch break. You know, we have to be able to take our break, take our days and recoup, because burnout is definitely real.
Definitely real.
Yes, ma'am.
But you ready to get into it?
Let's get into it.
We're gonna get into today's episode. So, I watch podcasts. I think I started watching podcasts maybe, I think I got into it maybe 4 years ago. And the main two people, the main person podcast that I do watch, I watch everything KevOnStage. They'll say I watch it. I can tell you about this podcast, that podcast, the app that they got. He had a streaming service, what's on there, and that's good, or whatever. I am all things KevOnStage, love them, or whatever. But he and his wife had a podcast together at one point called The Love Hour. And she was having a money series. And so she had this financial guru, blogger, proper term, could be wrong, on an episode. And she was talking about money stories. And her name is Tonya Rapley. She's also called at MyFabFinance on Instagram. And so we were thinking about topics or whatever. And Shakura was like, we need a finance topic. And so I sat back and I thought about what could we talk about? And I went back. The episode was probably 2 years old. And I thought back to that episode and I'm like, man, that's good, because I never knew that money story or whatever existed until I watched the episode. So I sent her the episode and she watched it and she was like, oh yeah, we're gonna talk about this. So we're gonna talk about money stories.
That's good. As I think about that, and of course that episode was a really, really good episode. So I'm glad you were able to pull her name and plug her into that. But definitely, so before we even get into talking about and identifying what our money stories is, tell the audience, the people who may be listening, what a money story is, or how do someone attach a money story to themselves.
So in the episode, which I will link in the description box if you want to go back and watch, it's really good. But she defined your money story as an event, a life event that shaped how you view money and how you view your finances. And she kind of related it to more of a childhood type of thing. It may, a lot of stuff in therapy go back to childhood. And when you dig deep down, you think about it, it's more of a childhood type of thing anyway. Yeah. But then some things in your adult life may shape how you view and look at money anyway. Yeah. So since you had time to watch the episode, and you have had time to think about what could be my money story, what did you feel like your money story was?
So first and foremost, the episode was really awesome. And so as I think about, or I try to identify what my money story may be, I can remember a time where my perspective on money changed. Of course, money is always something that we feel and we think is important. A lot of people, I know that's not just my opinion. Money is the key to a lot, right?
You can do a lot with money.
You can do a lot. And so I can remember, I think this was when I had got my master's degree. No, my bachelor's degree. And I was working. I was working at a little school, and I was it was a school for children with disabilities, and so I really loved it there. That's also where I learned that I'm not a teacher, okay? Especially to children, okay? But
only for yours.
Only barely. Barely. She got school fun. But I can remember working there and being put through a situation. It's crazy because that was your child listening, but being put in a situation where you play with my money. And already being somebody who was just getting out of school, trying to find themselves in their career, trying to find a we don't want to say job, but trying to find a profession, like something that's going to be our long term, right? And I can remember it was close to Christmas time, and the owner called me in the office and basically told me that we wasn't getting a check. We wasn't getting a check. Do you know Christmas is coming?
Besides Christmas, I ain't not coming
for free. Okay. And so that is when my perspective on money changed. Because not only did I not get a check, I had to figure out how my car note was gonna get paid, how my baby was gonna receive Christmas things, and I live here in Baton Rouge, but my family was home. So how I'm gonna get home to spend the holidays with them and all this and all that. And the lady told me, no check. Well, why am I coming to work, ma'am? And I said all that to say that my perspective on money changed. At that point, I realized, the struggle is real. And when I said, you know what? I promise that I would never be in a position where anybody or anything made my money look funny. I am going to have enough of everything put somewhere so that if something happens, it's something that I won't be in this position again, especially with that daughter. Especially with having a little person, and she was too little to even have to just look at me and know that she was missing out on anything. Because of course, shout out to my sister and my family who helped me that year in making sure that Jaden had a good Christmas that year. But it changed, everything changed for me. And so if, like they said in the podcast with KevOnStage and his wife, that sometimes when I think about my childhood and what that money story looked like as a child, this particular situation kind of just
overshadowed all.
Oh my goodness. It did. It was like, of course you want to get a career, you want to, because growing up I didn't that's not what I saw. It wasn't really, and I could say that I was kind of blocked away from money problems. Like my mom and dad never really showed me the issues and the struggles of, other than, you go in the store, you've been asking nothing, or whatever, but not so much of where money was something that I thought about. Not until like growing up, getting a little older, like middle school, high schoolish type ordeal, where you had to do things or wanted to do things that you couldn't do because your parents couldn't afford it. Where you have a homecoming dance or this dance or that dance, and you got to choose between getting your nails done or your hair done because they can't do both, or you can't do both, or whatever. And so I can remember this particular situation, and I was fresh out of fresh out of college, getting my bachelor's degree, and that also gave me the push to say, you know what, I gotta set myself up. I gotta go back to school because this here not it. And so now, even today, and they talked about it, even when we're identifying our money story and how that affects us today, how that affects me today. I'm cheap. Babe, I am and it's crazy because my husband, his friends will say that he is cheap, right? And I'm like, his wife cheap too. And they like, nah, you can't be as cheap as him. And I'm like, we match each other energy.
They do.
We match each other energy. Like, I don't have to worry about him going out and I'm like, you spend all this money on that. Like, I don't have to worry about that. But sometimes I have to check myself, because sometimes I call you and I'll be like, why do I want something, but yet I don't go get it when I have it to go get it? But that plays a part in my psyche for one, and how I identify my money story. Because now I feel like if I don't have that security blanket, it's gonna keep me up at night. Not having X amount of dollars in my savings is gonna keep me up at night. Not having X amount of money in my checking, even though it's in my savings, is going to keep me up at night. And so it's just like, I'm frugal, but I still have to check myself. You know, in that episode, I know he said, he was like, seeing my parents and them waiting for retirement and being able to, or having to wait to reap the benefits of what they've done. And he like, I want to live in that now. And that's how I am. I want to live in it now, but I do it on a budget. So yeah, I'm going to be cute. I'm going to go get my hair done. I'm going to get my nails done. All that.
You doing better though.
I am.
She doing way better.
I am. But that's because now I'm so busy because I'm like, oh, I can do that myself. Oh, I can do that myself. Where I'm so busy now that I can't. I gotta go with somebody. I want my braids. I could do my own hair. Yeah. But I want to pay my girl, shout out to her, for doing my hair in 2.5 hours versus me taking 6 hours to do it myself. I don't have that 6 hours no more. So I gotta go and pay X amount. Baby, I'm even thinking about getting Jaden hair done. I think I'm trying to talk her into or whatever, because I just don't have the time to do it. I want to go get my nails done, but I don't have time to go sit at the nail shop for 4 hours, so I'm going to have to pay the nail tech a little bit more.
You came on over to appointment life, huh?
To this appointment. Yeah. Book me.
Appointment life a little different, huh?
Book me. Oh, yeah. It get different. That's grown woman stuff.
Yeah.
That's grown woman.
I remember when because I crossed on over to appointment life, and I went back with her because I don't remember where we went. Oh, it was Jay's birthday last year. And we went back to get our nails done. And I remember sitting and waiting. And I said,
She said, this ain't it. And I said, you know what? You right. Let's book me. Book me an appointment. And baby.
Because it ain't nothing like going to a nail shop. And if, like with the girl I go to, if my appointment is at 6, she's seeing me no later than 6:15.
Yes.
Like, no later than that. It's rare.
Yes.
That she's that behind where I gotta wait an hour. Like,
absolutely.
Nope. And then she is consistent.
And that's life.
She is consistent. Every time I get my nails done, it is consistent. The shape is consistent. They last.
And they
consistent.
Cute. And they shout out to her. What's her name?
Nails. No, I'm not telling her because y'all
trying to book her. She don't want to give a girl a plug because y'all gonna take her appointment time.
It is. I literally have to go to her day near every 6 weeks.
Y'all gonna take the girl appointment time. She don't want to plug
y'all
the girl
take
name.
Me. Y'all gonna take her from me.
Shout out to her. If I knew her name, I'd say it, but she on Florida.
It's nails by Yen. That's all I'm gonna say.
Find her. She good, y'all.
She good though. Yeah. But if I think about my money story, I said I thought about it. I thought about it when I watched the episode, and I thought about it again when we was getting ready for this one.
Yeah.
Mine is a childhood, teenage type of thing. Because how I look at money is I need to make sure I have enough to where no matter what I can stand on my own. It's a good thing, but it's a bad thing. It's kind of like let me make sure I have. I don't want to have to depend on anybody else.
Yeah.
Because for Ebony, asking for money makes me cringe. So it do.
It's not really asking for money. It's just letting people in for you. I think that's very different.
No. Money is very different.
Well, it is.
And so in my head, if I got to work, I always say if I have to work 5 jobs, I will work 5 jobs before I ask somebody for something. That's 1. 2, before I am forced to stay somewhere that I don't want to be. Yeah. And that's true. You know, you look at certain situations, you look at certain, like I think about, you know, marriages and things that I seen growing up, and I saw where the people were miserable. And it was like, well, why? You know, and the common thing would be, well, why you just won't leave? Yeah. But it's more to just leaving than just getting your stuff and leave. You know, it's okay. You got to find somewhere to stay. Now you're paying bills, where you had a security blanket of somebody helping you or somebody paying them for you or whatever. It was more to just leaving. So for me, I was like, regardless of what my situation looks like, I'm going to make sure that I got what I got, that I can stand on my own. That if need be, if I need to go be by myself, if I need to leave a job, that I have all my ducks in a row so that when I leave, I'm good. Yeah. And that could be leaving, like if I think about it, the times that I switched jobs, it was always leaving one, going to the next. It was never a break in between. Cause like if that break in between, that's a week off of work. Yes. Yeah. So that's a week of no money. So I can't do that. Yes. So I wouldn't leave a job unless I had something lined up. Some people just quit and go figure it out. Not me. And I could have, even if I had 6 months of a salary saved, I still couldn't see myself leaving a job without something else falling back on you. Like, leaving my part-time job recently was the first time I left a job with like, I'm about to figure out this money. I'm about to miss. And the money wasn't a lot, but for what it did,
the little bit made a difference.
But for what it was, it did what it needed to do. Yes. So now I'm about to let this go, you know, burn out, tired, whatever. And I'm like, I'm about to, and then to the point that I'm like, she talking about she cheap. I know me now probably shocking the heck out of her because I've been like,
ooh, I don't know
how much it is. Like I was the one that at one point, which well, let me back up. So another part of my money story is, yeah, I'm gonna work to make sure that I'm good regardless, but I also be like, why deprive myself of what I want? Yeah, facts. And so there was also, I know, a childhood thing. So there were things that I wanted as a child. Yeah. That ooh, mama getting a lot of shouts out this episode. Shout out. But I remember getting the Finger Hut book. If y'all know Finger Hut, put it in the comments for Christmas. And my mama would say, go through this book and write your Christmas list down and tell me what you want. And I'll write down to the T.
What the book say?
The I don't want Cabbage Patch, I'm just using an example. Cabbage Patch Samantha doll with castle set. Whatever. To the T. Did I get that? Mm-mm.
That was
I got a doll.
Example of what you wanted.
I got a doll.
Brand, send her an example of what she wanted.
Mama been coming like, you got the doll.
You got the doll, that's all that matters.
You said castle, you got a castle. It might not have been that castle, but you got a castle.
It may not have been Samantha's castle.
It was a castle. And so, and then as getting older and you wanted like certain shoes, certain purses, you wanted to, I was always the, you know, girly girl of me and my sister. I wanted my nails done. I wanted my hair done. I wanted makeup. I wanted all that stuff done. My mama was like, no. So when I got older and I had the money to do it, I'm gonna go do it. And so, and that was one time where I was very outrageous with some stuff. But my mindset was, if I can live after this purchase, I'm gonna do it.
I was just about to say that. And I figured you would say that because I could, oh my goodness, I could remember.
Because she used to call me and say,
oh, I really want this, but.
And I'd be like, but I would say, are your bills paid? Yep. Y'all, you got food. Can you live after you buy this? Now, I would never say go buy, because I think Coach and Michael Kors was real popular when we was, when we first met. Yeah. I wouldn't say go buy a Coach or Michael Kors purse if your lights was gonna get cut off, if your car was gonna get repositioned, picked up, cable, whatever. Never. But I always said, if you could live,
Yep.
If you can live after doing it, I say go ahead. Because whatever live look like for you, you know your bills, not me.
Absolutely.
So, but that was me. I'm like, because I would be like, well, dang, I can't get it. But I switched it to like, because there was that tussle of, man, I can't get it because money. But then it was like, but you work hard though. So why are you working hard to not at least afford yourself some of the things that you want?
Absolutely.
You ain't like you ain't gotta go buy everything, but at least sometimes. Or for me, I would look. I'm a researcher. So I know how much it was for me to get hair for a sew-in. I knew how much the girl was gonna charge me for a sew-in. I knew what my checks was every 2 weeks, and I would say, okay, I know if I go 3 checks, I can get this. My business will still be taken care of. But I'm gonna go get this. And I also be, we had the bougie conversation. I didn't think of it as bougie. I looked at it as, if I'm gonna give you my hard-earned money, I want what I want.
Absolutely.
So if I'm paying to get my nails done, you gotta do them how I want it. If I'm paying to get my hair done, you gotta do it how I want it. And so there was times when I moved back to Monroe that I was driving to Baton Rouge to get my hair done, because I couldn't find nobody in Monroe to do my hair like the girl in Baton Rouge did my hair.
And she was bougie.
Whatever you want to call it. But because that's how I looked at it.
Right.
But at the same time, it was still I'm gonna do what I gotta do, so I never had to be somewhere where I was stuck.
Right. Absolutely.
And so taking it back to money story, that's what mine was. Or mine is. Is I'm gonna grind it out. I'm gonna hustle it out. Or I'm gonna sacrifice, I'm gonna do whatever, so that if I'm in something that no longer serves me, or no longer, whether it's a relationship, whether it's a job, a side hustle, whatever, if I need to pivot, I'm gonna pivot and I'm gonna move. And not miss a beat. And if I have to back, I'll back. But my goal is to never miss a beat.
Right, absolutely.
And then it's also letting money or using money as a tool to do the things that I want.
Right.
Buy the things that I want. Because, people often say, saving, and I'm not saying don't save. I would never tell you not to save. I would never tell you not to budget. I would never tell you not to do that. There's also a saying that you can't take it with you.
Yeah, absolutely.
Once you take care of all your business and what you have left, if you want to go buy you a purse and you good with the purse, buy it. If you want to, the older you get, the more, the longer your money get, you may look at things of convenience. Like you paying somebody to do something that you can do. Hell, I can make wigs.
Yeah, true.
But if I'm in a position where I can make a wig or pay somebody that makes wigs, make the wig, I'm gonna go with the pay to make the wig.
Absolutely. Yeah.
So I know somebody that has a cleaner come to their house every 2 weeks.
Yeah.
That is a goal of mine. And I like cleaning, but me,
I don't like that tub.
I don't like the tub. But I will clean.
Right.
But I know like once I clean, I can't stop.
Right. Yeah,
but if I can make time to do something else by paying somebody else to come clean it, then yes, I'm gonna do it.
Absolutely.
Or whatever.
Absolutely.
So yeah, that is what I know that's what my money story is. Not depriving myself of what I want, but at the same time busting my butt that I'm never stuck in something that I don't want to be stuck in.
Absolutely. And that's important. To know your limits. I know long time ago, we were still, no, it had to be bachelors. Me wanting a sew-in, and I'm like, what I gotta do to get this? I gotta pay her to do it, and I gotta pay for the hair. Find me some cheap hair, please.
And sew-ins cost nearly as much as they do now.
It's not. I'm like,
the hair.
Run me the sewing from
was
back
nowhere near as much as what it is now.
Run me that from back then. Because I thought it was high then, but now?
I could go back.
Matter
Matter of fact, sewing is what made me get into wigs.
Yeah.
Because there was a point I was getting them back to back, but I also didn't have bills.
You did.
I didn't have bills. I kept sewing. I became natural because I kept a sewing.
She did.
And it was natural by default. I was not going natural.
Never.
I was never going natural.
You did.
And my cousin, shout out to Maddie, was like, "Edna, you're natural." I said, "No, I'm not." And she took a picture of the back of my head because I was wearing leave outs then, and I was natural.
Mm-hmm.
I sent it to you. I said, "Ooh, Shakur, I think I'm natural."
Yep. That's how it happened.
And then I'm like, you know what? Okay. And I moved down here, and that's what made me say, okay, well, look, you can't keep getting sew-ins back. And that was going up too. Mm-hmm. But you can't keep getting sew-ins back to back. Like, you need to figure something else out. And so wigs became my thing. Mm-hmm. And then wigs got expensive. So YouTube became my friend. Mm-hmm. And I learned how to make wigs for me. Mm-hmm. Not for, at the time for me.
Right.
I could make them for me.
not
I
for nobody else.
I can do them for certain people here and there. But for me, I knew how to make it. Because then too, when you're learning, you see imperfections. Yeah. So everybody else is like, "Oh, it look good." I'm like, "Nah, it's messed up," but you can't tell. Yeah. But so that's how I pivoted with that. But yeah.
Money stories.
Stories.
Being able to identify what those look like. And sometimes it may, in a moment of reflecting on yourself and just trying to figure things out, because we're always working. My quote or phrase that I'm identifying with these days is, we're always finding different things to become the best version of ourselves, mm-hmm. right? Mm-hmm. And so as we're doing that and we're reflecting on our life, we're identifying what our money story looks like, mm-hmm. and how do we look at money? How do our perspective on money play a part, mm-hmm. in how I move or how I make decisions and purchases and things like that. So it's definitely important to be able to know what that money story is, because sometimes you may have to step back and say, "Oh, I feel like this because this is the mm-hmm. the seed that my mm-hmm. parents planted, or the struggle that I went through when I was 6 or 7 mm-hmm. or 14, 15, and to say, okay, well, I may need to make some changes mm-hmm. to some things. Like I told you, me and my husband, we're more so one and the same, but we're different too. Like, he'll go and, baby, that man, I know you're gonna be watching this man will go and buy a car, baby. Put in the comments and tell the people how many cars you bought last year.
Don't put in the comments.
Yes.
I'm gonna cut this.
Don't cut that. No, she not. And so he will go and make those big purchases versus me. I'm scared. Mm-hmm. I'm like, "Oh no, car paid off. I'm done. I don't need a car."
The whole time she was, "I got X amount of more. I owe X amount of more dollars on my car. I got $3,000 more dollars. Yeah. I got 3 more payments."
And baby was happy about it. And then I'm like, "Okay, cool. Check car off of the things that I have to pay for." But mm-hmm. so, and then for me in reverse, like I will, I guess, buy the things that I more so feel like I made a part of my lifestyle, like mm-hmm. my hair, my nails, mm-hmm. my child doing cheer, like mm-hmm. that's just an expense that I've mm-hmm. included into my life aside of bills and things like that. And so it's important to know, because sometimes we may have to make changes mm-hmm. in what or how we identify with our life story mm-hmm. or with our money story, because it could be hindering us. Mm-hmm. And we just have to kind of change that perspective a little bit mm-hmm. To be able to walk into becoming mm-hmm. the best versions of ourselves. And sometimes that means making purchases that are scary. I can remember one of my good friends, we talk about making purchases and buying bags and purses and doing this and doing that. Baby, Sarika made me buy a purse, talked me into it, baby, talk me into it and buying a Coach purse, and the Coach like, you deserve it. You work so hard. Don't tell yourself no. Talk me into it, baby. Mm-hmm. That had to been what? Oh, J11. That had to be.
I wasn't even living here then.
You wasn't even here. I think we were still bachelors in our. Baby, that was so long ago.
It couldn't be bachelor because I was gone. So you was in masters.
However, I still never wore that Coach bag. That Coach purse and the wallet is still sitting on the top of my closet in the bag. In the purse, the wallet is in the purse. So I never wore that.
I remember because you called me like, I cut the rubber.
All that money, and it just sitting on top of my closet. I told her I didn't want it.
But she doing.
But I felt like I did. She was right though. I did deserve to buy something that I wanted at the time, I thought. And that I worked hard. Mm-hmm. It wasn't a lot of things that I wanted outside of making sure that my baby was straight. Mm-hmm. And so that being something that I stepped out mm-hmm. and did. So now that's what I try to do. I make sure that I'm not missing out on the things that I can identify as something important to me. Mm-hmm. I want to get my nails done, but that costs too much. I'm not doing that. Mm-hmm. Or, I want to buy this shirt or these pair of pants or do this, but I'm not doing that. That costs too much money. But then got money in my account or mm-hmm. have money in my account to get it, but just not getting it because my money story was scary for me. And so it's important, you guys, identify. If y'all can tell us in the comments what you think your money story is, we would love to hear it, or send us an email on what your money story looks like.
Okay. Yeah. So now we're down to the question and answer portion. As always, if you have any questions or you have a topic you would like us to discuss, you can email us at unapologeticallyuspod@yahoo.com. That is unapologeticallyuspod@yahoo.com. You have a question?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes. So for someone who is basically like in the finance and accounting field, mm-hmm. For you to be able to tell our audience, tell the people, mm-hmm. what are some steps that you would recommend or tell someone about identifying their money story or being able to kind of figure out
what their money story is?
Yeah.
I would first start off by saying being honest mm-hmm. with yourself. And then sit back and think about how you spend money. Think about how you look at money. Yes. Money is a tool.
Yes.
And it can be used to do a lot of things. So when you look at money, how do you look at money? And then when you think about how you look at that money, how you look at money, think back to like, okay, what happened to make me think of it like that? Mm-hmm. Like for instance, when I said making sure that I'm in a situation where if I gotta go, I gotta go. Yeah. And that I'm gonna still be good no matter what. It was because I know that how I see my life, how I want to live my life. I don't want to live my life in a situation where I'm stuck in something because I can't afford to go anywhere else. Yeah. So for me, that tool of money for me was, regardless, make sure you got you. Mm-hmm. Yeah, I can buy my niece presents, I can buy people presents, Christmas, birthdays, whatever. But at the end of the day, I gotta make sure I'm straight. Yes. And if I have kids, I feel like it would still be on sense of, if my kids gotta come with me, am I straight? Like I said, it's a good thing, but it's a bad thing because you become too dependent on yourself, mm-hmm. that you can't let nobody else come in and do what they gotta do. Mm-hmm. But when you think about money and you think about how you look at it, think back to like, okay, what happened that made me think like that?
Yes.
And then that'll help you identify what your money story is. Mm-hmm. You have a distinct event in your life that said, okay, I knew from this point going forward, I would never I would never let this happen.
Right.
So when it comes to money, this is what money is to me.
Right.
It's a tool to make sure that not only am I good, my child is good. And even if I'm not good, my child's still gonna be good.
Yes.
And I'm gonna make sure that I never give a job the power to determine what my child life looks like.
Yes.
So yeah, think back on it. I know like in the episode, which I do, like I said, we recommend you watch. KevOnStage and his wife grew up in a similar situation where they were military kids, and so they both grew up poor. And in their marriage and how they look at money when they were, becoming more and more, were making more money, they were still holding on to it because in their mind, they kept saying it, poor was around the corner.
Yeah.
And so you may could be somebody like that, like I'm doing good, and if I maintained making $40K a year, now I'm at $140K a year, I'm still gonna live like I'm at 40, maybe $45K because of inflation, because if I can wake up one day and all this be gone and I'll be poor again. And it's like once you get that dose of money, you don't want to go back to that life. You can survive, but you don't want to go back to that.
Absolutely.
And so some people hold on to it because it's like, well, I'm not going to be as poor again. And I'm not going to let my kids be poor. So, it could be something like that. It could be, I know his wife said her mom thing was she spent a lot. Yeah. Some people look at money as spend it, like what made you get to that point? Yeah. So if you're thinking about your money story, think about how you look at money and what happened that made you look at it like that. Yeah. And once you do, tell us in the comments of what you think or what you discovered your money story is. Yes. Good answer?
Good answer. Good.
All
good
right.
Answer. Good answer.
And again, if you have any questions or you have any topics you'd like for us to discuss, please email us at unapologeticallyuspod@yahoo.com. Now it is time for my favorite part of the show, the wind down. The wind down.
That was a good episode.
This was a good episode.
The money story, money.
Because money is a tool. Mm-hmm. Money can afford you a lot of things. Some people feel like some people say that money can't buy you happiness. Some people say it can. I feel that the happiness that people feel that money brings is not really happiness. It just affords you a lot of things. Yeah. Money can be convenience. When you have enough of it frees up a lot of things. And if you're using it properly, it's freedom in a sense. Yes. When you can take a trip because to avoid burnout from work, or you can take some money and put it into investments, and you can take some money and buy what you want, remodel your home, things of that nature. Being smart about it. Yeah. So that's what I think the happiness aspect of money comes from. Do I think it buys or does it make you happy? No, because even with taking trips and diving into other things, your problem is still gonna be there. Yeah. So I don't think it buys you happiness. I just think it affords you to kind of maneuver around life a little different. Right. But yeah, cause this could be the start of a money type of discussion, down the road. I think starting off with identifying money story is a good way to kind of welcome into finances, because a big part of finances is money. Right. Definitely. And making your money work for you. Right. Absolutely. So, like I said, let us know what you think in the comments or once you discover what your money story is. Right. Let us know what your money story is, and we can take the comments and divide and make an episode about. If we take like a common type of thing amongst people, we could go back and do a episode about what a lot of people's money stories is and ways that you can, you know, navigate through that.
Yeah.
Oh, I gotta finish my wine.
Yeah, because she is not drinking hers.
One thing about me, I'm gonna finish my drink. Now it's hot, so thank y'all for watching today's episode. Sweat is dripping down my back.
Thank y'all for tuning in to the Unapologetically Us podcast. We'll see y'all next time.
Be sure. Now y'all see the last couple of times she was trying to get your girl. Be sure to like, comment, subscribe, share our podcast. Rate us. We're gonna get Apple down one of these days. Hopefully when this airs, Apple has got it together with us. But until then, we're on it with Spotify. So rate us on all of those platforms. All minds clear?
All minds clear.
Until the next episode. Bye guys.